Feminine earth feeds me, soothes me in her skin since the womb, providing sustenance, safety, and soothing. The first self-object, she guides me, leaves whistling through winds, guide me, and tell me where to go. They tell me where safety is and where I must stay away from. She tells me to be careful where I roam. The more I reciprocate to her, the more she affirms her existence to me through synchronicity and miracles. The more I honor her, the less weighed down I feel by her shadow and turbulent winds. She has been brutalized. I begin by honoring her, divine feminine, calling upon the great goddess of Teotihuacan, as I now call her. She is divine, feminine, underworld, weaver, protector, archetypal spider. As she weaves, she teaches me to weave, to create, to thread myself anew. She teaches me of death and rebirth. As older parts die off, she reminds me that there is space to refashion myself. She reminds me that it is possible to rise from muddy waters. The divine feminine tells me that the only way is down and through the dark, wet depths, that I must succumb to the underworld and let the serpents enfold me, surrender to their slimy texture, penetrating gaze, and slithering tongues caressing skin. She tells me that the initiation is downward. For many, our first initiations were brought by way of susto, soul loss. In my first initiation, I was faced to look the devil in the eyes. I was only 3 years old. A shaman once told me this. For many, the descent into the underworld is one of dissociation, leaving the energetic body hollow, a sight of both anguish and possibility, anguish in the initial severance of self, a naked exposure that is overwhelming and ungraspable by the ego, yet a space of possibility. Tejana, Chicana feminist and lesbian writer Gloria Anzaldúa theorized from this space, having curated poems and essays which she at one point in her individuation journey refigures her own Medusa myth, which she ultimately evolves into a more culturally and ancestrally syntonic Mexica Aztec one. She invokes images of Coatlicue, Huitzilopochtli, and Coyolxauhqui. She felt a deep affinity to Coyolxauhqui, dismembered moon goddess. The myth says that upon being birthed by Coatlicue, Huitzilopochtli emerged from the womb in battle gear, dismembering his siblings, most notably his sister Coyolxauhqui. Where he flung her fragments into the sky, Anzaldúa interpreted her life and her journey of individuation as one where she was tasked to piece herself together, particularly the fragments that were split off and abjected as a result of colonial violence. Anzaldúa exclaimed that those of us who are culturally hybrid are tasked with integrating this disembodied feminine, and that this is the very task of decolonizing in this current age of coloniality. Like Anzaldúa, as a cultural and ethnic mestizo, I weave my own tapestry of Western and Mesoamerican myths and their images to rework and refigure my own personal myth of decolonial individuation, finding meaning through mythic stories like those of Dionysus. It wasn't until recently that I realized that I was living out my own Dionysian myth in various stages of my life, especially during the early 20s. Dionysus has been an icon for the queer community, with his love of wine, theater, music festivals, and sexual transgression. Part of my Dionysian resurrection has involved piecing together my heart fragments so I can know and feel what it is like to be loved, to love deeply, which has led to a divine union. Although the presence of hallucinatory concoctions, intoxicants, and music festivals is less frequent, my husband Javier and I do like to indulge in sensorial experiences through decadent feasting every now and then. Every now and then we will adorn our bodies with fine florals and silks and bask in ecstatic-like pleasures, particularly after major milestone moments or as part of rites of passage as writers, as warriors of pen and paper. As part of our sacred union, we continue to carry with us the archetypal medicine of transgression. On occasion, this transgression pierces and unsettles. Other times, the same transgression allows for new light to emerge from the cracks, carrying with it new modes and models of wholeness. Though initially disorienting, the fault line of the transgression brings forth a compensatory desire for ritual and a meaning-making that sutures mind, body, and spirit, allowing for the creation of a new vessel, a new container that can withhold past, present, and future. This new container and mode began through a journey of initiation, a downward descent, and relationship with the fragmented feminine, a descent into the dark serpentine forces. Like those mythical stories of transformation and individuation, by journeying with the four elements through the underworld, through the overworld, and through the middle world, we yearn to build new wings that ascend upward into the movement of spirits. Thank you.